Hey people in YouTube land, Zach Hall back here, and we're going to be doing another Bible review today. And just want to let you know that the video today is sponsored by another YouTube channel called Ambassadors. Of course, that's the launch of me and my wife's new Christian retail company. So if you guys want to go check that out, I would appreciate that. Or you can go to our website, ambassadorsforchrist.shop, and check out some of the products we have. But today we're going to be reviewing the Spurgeon Study Bible put out by Holman, and specifically was edited by Alistair Begg, if I'm saying that right. But he is a Reformed Baptist pastor in Cleveland, and I like a lot of stuff that he does. But he compiled a lot of Spurgeon's notes, and so we're going to be looking at this today. And just looking at the back of the box, you can pause that and take a look at that. Kind of get all the information you need there. But this one is the genuine leather edition. It retails for $89.99. You can get it cheaper on Christian book distributors though. But I got this one for Christmas for my wife, and so this was an awesome gift because I really love Spurgeon. But honestly, who doesn't? So looking at this is the black genuine leather. Very nice. It's definitely more of a tough leather, but it has worked in very well since I've owned it. It's got Charles Spurgeon's signature on the front there. And then also on the spine, you're going to have his signature there as well. The Spurgeon Study Bible, King James Version, and Holman. This does not have any raised hubs, and you can see the spine kind of indents in there, kind of like the Thompson chain, the old ones used to. So I kind of like that feature about it, actually. Now, if there's one thing that bugs me about the front cover is putting his name in the corner here, because typically, people like to put their own name. If you're getting this as a gift for somebody, typically you would like to put their name down here in this bottom corner, and they already have it up here on the top. So if there's one thing that I could change, maybe remove this. Although this has grown on me as I've owned it, it doesn't really bother me as much. But it's a beautiful pebbly grain. It's a very tight grain. On the outside here you have black perimeter stitching, and then when you flip it on the inside, you actually have red perimeter stitching. So that's a pretty cool feature they have. Nice vinyl paste-off liner. It's very well done. That's reinforced and tabbed into the block with some type of tape or material there. So then you get a presentation page. It's very cool. This actually, once we get into this, this looks like the paper that Spurgeon wrote on when they took pictures of it. So we'll kind of look at that as well in the study Bible. But it's a very unique presentation page. And if I can get to the title page here, there we go. So there's a title page, Spurgeon Study Bible in his own writing, King James Bible, Holman. It is printed in China, and then there is the information as well as far as what bindings it comes in. Here you have the books of the Bible, the content. Here you have a biography of Charles Spurgeon, awesome read. That's by Alistair Begg as well. And then here you're going to have a breakdown of the helps throughout the Bible. So you have the Lost Sermons of Spurgeon. It's going to give you the page numbers they're on. You have the Spurgeon study notes, Spurgeon quotes, and you have a preface to the Spurgeon Study Bible. Then you're going to get right into your Old Testament title page. And then every book has an introduction on like a red page, kind of a light red, kind of a rose color. Very light on the eyes, but it's very nice. So you can see it's just got some circumstances of writing, contribution to the Bible structure, and they also have a section here at the end, Spurgeon on whatever book it is. So there's a Spurgeon on Genesis, Spurgeon on Exodus, and so on and so forth. So it gives you some insights to what he thought about the book overall, which is pretty cool. Then you get into this nice text. This is one of the surprises of this Bible for me. Is for a study Bible, this text is eminently readable, very well spaced. It's an 8 to 9 point font. I would lean closer probably to 8.5. Officially, it's probably an 8, but with the spacing between the letters and the words and the lines, this does read like a 9 point font. It's very, very readable. Matter of fact, I've seen fonts that say they're 9.5 not read as good as this font. So it's very bold, pops right off the page. This Bible is line matched for the most part. And you see kind of one of the features here as we get into this. Here is a quote from Spurgeon in his own writing. And what they do, because sometimes this can be hard to read. It's not too hard, but Like, for example, you read, "How there was light before there was any sun, for the sun was not created until the fourth day of the week, is not for us to say. But God is not dependent on his own creation. He can make light without a sun. He can spread the gospel without the aid of ministers. He can convert souls without any human or angelic method, for he does and he wills in the heavens above and on the earth beneath." So you can read it, but if you have a struggle reading this font, they also highlight that quote in red in the commentary down here at the bottom. Now, there are no notes to indicate whether or not there is commentary at the bottom, so you kind of have to just look at the commentary and see what verse or chapter and verse number is referencing. As you can see here, is 1:1, 1:2, 1:3 through 4, 1:5, and so you can kind of just read his thoughts. And what Alistair Begg did is Charles Spurgeon never wrote a commentary on the Bible. You could argue that his Treasury of David is a commentary on the Psalms. But other than that, he really didn't write any commentaries on a particular book. And so what Alistair Begg did was go through some of his sermons, and he kind of reworked them to make them more like a commentary at the bottom of these pages. And he did an excellent job. It's very well done, and I find it very insightful. Now we'll flip the page one more time here to another feature. So you can kind of see, like I was talking about, the presentation page is kind of based on how this looks. These are the lost sermons of Spurgeon. So ones that he did not finish. He had started to write them out, but he didn't quite complete them. And so you have the actual page there, and then right next to it, you have the modern, typed out, neat and nice kind of outline of what he was writing. So this sermon's on the first promise, goes into how he breaks down the sermon, which he does have these headers in here as well. So you have the occasion of its gift by making some remarks on the preceding verses, the characters mentioned, the bruising of the heel or the inferior nature, the bruising of the head of the serpent and his seed, and under that you have subpoints as well. So it's pretty cool to see some of his sermons that he had written. And then lastly, one of the last features of this Bible is you get his illustrations. So here is an illustration for Genesis 3:8. It says, "However far we may get away from God, we will have to come close to him one of these days. Like the comet that flies far off from the sun, wandering into space for an altogether inconceivable distance, and yet has to come back again. However long the time its circuit takes, so we will have to come back to God, either willingly, repentantly, believingly, or else unwillingly, and in chains to receive our sentence of doom from the lips of the Almighty, whom we have provoked to anger by our sin." So this is perfectly placed too. This is right after the fall of Adam and Eve. So they're going to be kicked out of the garden. And so he uses the illustration of how a comet, by the gravity of the sun, is thrown out into space, and yet the same gravity of the sun pulls it back to itself, even though it may take a long period of time. And so what he's saying is that even though man was cast out of the garden, we either have to come back believing in the gospel and come and be reconciled to God, or God will draw us back in again on the day of judgment. So I really like the illustrations that he gives in this. And as far as the commentary on the bottom, or how he takes the sermons and divides them up and puts them in the text, there's really not a ton. So we'll just flip through here and kind of give you an idea of what you could expect. So for the most part, I would say this is actually, a real usable Bible. I mean, I've used this at Bible studies. I've used this to take to church and to read from while the pastor is preaching. I don't think I've taught from this Bible yet, but this is a very well done layout, and I would use this for preaching or teaching. It's kind of become my main Bible right now. It's a great devotional Bible. Obviously, Spurgeon has a ton of devotional material he put out, so essentially you have a solid devotional Bible with Charles Spurgeon's notes in it, and a lot of this stuff just really pushes your soul to seek the Lord. It really does. I'll show you some of the notes I've taken in this Bible. One thing I love about this paper is that there's no glare under direct light, so you don't have any shininess to the page. You never have to move it for uncomfort on your eyes from the sheen you get sometimes on certain paper. And then here's some notes I've taken. And then also this, as far as I've experienced, I've never had to deal with page curling, which is my biggest pet peeve. I hate page curl. So this has been awesome. I have never had it page curl on me at all. That's, for you that might not know that, it's like when the paper does this on its own, it starts to curl up at the corner, just due to some factors in the environment, heat and different stuff. But here is what I use. I believe this was a 01 Pigma Micron, the blue. You can see it goes through, but it doesn't bleed through. And you can write quite a bit in those margins. They're decent. I would say it's about 3/4 of an inch. So not a full inch, but definitely enough to write some notes. I mean, I'm writing full sentences there. And there's what it looks like on the back side. And then again, doesn't bleed through. So also this thing does come with 2 ribbon markers, black for the Old Testament, red for the New Testament. I really greatly appreciate the fact that they put 2 in here. Now that I've worked it in, it lays pretty much flat anywhere. Genesis still has a hard time. This Bible does have some intense hinges at the beginning and the end, so you can see kind of how this goes up here and here. So this Bible sometimes wants to fight you, especially when you first get it, but now that I've worked it in, it lays pretty flat. This is a black letter edition. Some of you may have caught that as we flip through the Gospels, but this one does not have red letter, and that's mainly due to the fact when you have like his quote here, there, they do red letter down here in the text. So I think they wanted to avoid any confusion while you're looking at it. But I personally do love a black letter text better, so I'm really happy with that. I think I took some more notes in 1 Timothy, so we can check that out real quick. So here I wrote some references in between the verses. And then we'll flip this over and show you what it looks like on the other side. Now, of course, this is on a title page, so, you know, you can kind of see it there, but nothing too bad. And then we'll flip to the back here. There's some helps in the back as well. So you get a 3-column concordance. And it does have quite a bit of entries. Goes for quite a long ways. I mean, it's a pretty thick and decent concordance. And this is where we're getting that hinge is fighting me a little bit as we're trying to turn the pages. So I definitely would say if you get this, break it in probably a couple times. And again, I have videos on my channel of how to do that if you're interested in looking at that. But once you get to the end of concordance, you have a couple blank sheets of paper before you get into your map section. The maps are printed on a non-glossy cardstock paper. The color is very well done. The colors are bold. They stick out very nice. Even on the route of the Exodus, they actually have a route where they cross the Red Sea. So that was encouraging to see. No pun intended there. And just everything's really well done. The fonts are dark enough to read them. Everything stands out where it should. The colors are very nice. And I like the paper they printed on. It's very, very well done. And then you get back here as well. Another unique feature of this is I just realized this. I saw this on another Bible. I think it was Thomas Nelson. But if I fold this back, you can kind of see where this naturally wants to break right here. And show you on the page before. It looks like they reinforced the beginning of this with some type of tape and Smythe sewing. I'll see if I can get down here where you can see it, but yeah, you can kind of see it. Get that to focus. But there's actually, maybe it's on the next page, but didn't look like it was. Oh yeah, there it is. Again, I'll try to get this to focus, but oh, there you go. You can kind of see it. You can see that it looks like tape running down through this at the beginning of Genesis, and I think that is there to reinforce this signature, because like I showed on the Schofield Bible, sometimes this is the first thing that goes right here is Genesis, and it pops out even though it's my son. So I think companies have been trying to do this to reinforce this right here so it doesn't come undone. So I'll keep you updated as far as when I use that and see what it does. But that was my review of the Spurgeon Study Bible. A very great Bible. Easy to carry. It's not a huge Bible. It's definitely, I would say, mid-sized to probably the beginning of a large-sized Bible. It's about 10 by 6.5, 10 by 7, somewhere in there, probably 9 3/4 of an inch. So it's not massive, and it is thin. For a study Bible, this thing's about 1.25 inches. So it's really not that thick at all for a study Bible. But again, it's pretty unique as far as a study Bible. It's not your traditional type of study Bible. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them for you. If you have any other questions about this Bible in particular or anything in general, please let me know. But I hope you guys have a great day. Take care and God bless.